Well, hello there. I'm back home from sea. Got home yesterday afternoon about 3 o'clock, I think it was. Sarah came in. She had to do a bit of shopping before she came home from work, so I actually beat her home by a few minutes. Good job I had a key, wasn't it? Which was rather lucky because I forgot it. And it was only on the last minute that I said, I need my house key, so it's in my cabin, in my drawer. Yeah, won't have to do that again. Yeah, you can imagine they can't come all the way home and having to sit on the doorstep for half an hour while you're waiting for your missus to come in. There. Well, the thing about the garden, the lavender bush, is the creatures that replace the bees are the butterflies. We've got I think they're cabbage whites anyway. When they got the wings open, they've got little dots in each corner of their wings. So they've been frequenting the few remaining flowers on the lavender bush. There are a few bees there as well, but it's all looking a bit wild. Poor old Sarah probably hasn't had the time to do the deadheading and stuff like that, so I'll get around to doing some of that. But we've got some good news on the kitchen front. The builders are coming to do the kitchen the day that we leave to go to France for our holiday, out to see my little girl, my pregnant little girl. Yeah, so that'll be quite exciting. So I'm going to take the camera with me when I go to France, this one and probably the big stills camera. This little video camera is a fantastic camera, so I should be keeping that. I'll be taking another memory card so that I can swap out the memory cards when this gets full, as I don't think I'll be able to do much in the way of editing when I'm away. We'll see what I can do. Well, what else has happened? Oh yeah, we say we've got the flight on the 10th. The flight leaves at about 5 o'clock, so we're going to have to leave here roughly about midday. By the time we get down to Stansted, I don't know how long it's going to take to get down to Stansted. It says about 3 hours 20 minutes, but yeah, you never know what the roads are like, do you? So we'll probably set off a few hours before, so 2 hours before, and then when we know that we're gonna make it in time, with plenty of time to spare, we'll probably stop and have a coffee and a sandwich, I expect, and see what we can make of it. Anyway, so that's what's planned for next week for me. So this afternoon I've got to go to the eye clinic to find out what's going on with this ocular migraine thing. It's very confusing. It's I don't know which eye it's in, because when I shut one eye, it's still in the open eye, and when I do vice versa, it's still in the. So whether it's inside my head, or rather it's inside my eye, I don't know. Anyway, so what's happened is when I look at something, right at the very centre of what I see is I get a wiggly line goes around, and it's kind of flashing. It's like a bit black and white, I suppose, that's pulsing. You imagine pixels that are pulsing, one pulsing black and one pulsing white. That's what it's doing, and then this spot gets bigger and bigger. It goes around like a U-shaped on its side, and gets bigger and bigger, and eventually it peters out to the periphery. It doesn't take long, and my vision isn't that impaired. Yes, it's a little bit annoying because you've got to try and look around it, and because it's there all the time. So that's going to sort that out. Hopefully it's just stress of the job, stress of dealing with what's happening at the moment. Yeah, life on board ship isn't so good as it used to be. Yeah, and I don't know where I stand with photography anymore. The Human Rights Act says that I'm allowed to gather information and to disseminate it to the public. Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, taking a picture of a seagull with nothing in the background is not really something that, you know, the government should be getting worried about. But according to the government website, taking photos from the ship is illegal. Even if you don't have the ship in the picture, in the frame, it's still illegal. So I don't know. But yeah, the Human Rights Act says that you're allowed to do that, and the Human Rights Act says that you're allowed. In one of the other articles, it says you're allowed to use your possessions as long as it's legal. So I don't know whether somebody else's policy, who's it's not my company's policy, but the company my company works for, DEFRA, is their policy. So, but anyway, I abide by their decision, and I won't do it, which is a shame really, because there's been some some really amazing shots. The way the wind was a few days ago was catching some seabirds that I'd never seen before. Well, not up that close anyway. Yeah, because we're up in Shetland, you know. We went all the way north of Shetland Islands. We did shelter a bit off the coast because of the strong weather. But yeah, we're all the way up into Shetland Island area. Bit cold and chilly up there. And so we came back into port a few days ago to do some maintenance work, much needed maintenance work. So yeah, we've done all that. Lots of jobs on the main engine, not mechanical bits to the engine. It's just changing valves that were due to have been changed in dry dock last year, but never got done. So we've done those that we could do this time. Hard work it was, blimey. Yeah, you don't know what it's like in an engine room. Dealing with, normally an engine room is hot anyway. So in a hot weather, the engine room's really hot. It's like, I suppose it's a bit like working inside inside the bonnet of your car with the engine running. Yeah, that's what we do. We're inside the bonnet of the ship's engine room, and we're doing all sorts of work down there. We had a little bit of work with the air compressors. Oh, I do like doing these big jobs. It does. It makes the trip go faster. If you've got something you spend a day getting all the spares ready, you spend a day reading through the instruction manuals, then you get on to doing the job, and that takes up time. And then of course the job's not finished really until you put all the tools away and you've filled out all the paperwork. You've done the job, the job in the planned maintenance part of the computer. So it does take up a few days doing some of these jobs, and of course some of the jobs require, yeah, you're not going to believe, permits to work, you need risk assessments, then you've got to do a take 5, whatever it's called, a toolbox talk they call it on this particular boat. Yeah, some ships they call it a take 5 or whatever, but you have to have this toolbox talk before you do the job. That's so everyone's singing from the same page, as it were, which is not a bad idea really. I think that's absolutely vital really, that everybody that works in the engine room should know what's going on in the engine room, just so that you're not you're not like the big oil rigs, because that's how one of the big accidents happened in the North Sea. They didn't tell each other what they were doing, so one guy started working on a valve, but the other guy had shut the valve down, so crossed wires anyway. They opened the wrong valve and systems flooded and everything went boom. Yeah, you might have heard of it, the Piper oil rig and the disaster. So we have these marine accident investigation books that come out, and they go through absolutely everything. I'm just waiting for that the Dali incident to come out. Yeah, I know it's American, but it'll come over to the British side eventually into our books. The MRB, Marine MAIB, Marine Accident Investigation Bureau, as they call themselves. Anyway, we're waiting for them to come out. So that'll be interesting reading. It does take a while. I did read some of the older books that republished, just out of interest, republished the story of the sinking of the Titanic, and they also did the Mary Celeste as well. When that was quite interesting reading, the Mary Celeste. They went into the history of the captain and how he was meticulous. He would never leave his cabin without making his bed. On this particular trip, he had his wife and daughter with him, and when they found the ship, they found that his bed had not been made. So that would tell you something, that the captain got out of his cabin pretty damn smartish for some reason. Yeah, and of course there's all the stuff in the logbook. Yeah, it's very interesting that they were carrying industrial alcohol. You can't drink it; it's toxic. But they were carrying industrial alcohol that somehow had come out of the containers in the hold, and they could start smelling it, knowing that it was very flammable. they were a bit worried. But the storm that they were in shook the ship's stove out of its holder and caused lots of cinders to come out of the chimney of the stove. And of course, not only that they knew that it was producing these cinders because it burnt the sails. The sails that were folded up and rolled up actually had burn marks on them. The same as in the accommodation. The accommodation also had burn marks from these cinders from the stove that had come out. So I can imagine that they feared for their lives on a ship full of industrial alcohol that was leaking, and an ignition source, the embers that were coming out of this stove, the galley stove. Yeah, so you can imagine them putting themselves into a lifeboat and setting sail. But what I'm hearing is that they were in areas known for sea quakes. This is where not only do you get buffeting from the seabed moving, because you can't compress water, it goes up with the seabed, up and down as the seabed moves, so there's a water column. And also in that particular area, it was prone to methane gas release from the sand and gravel and mud at the bottom would suddenly be released in huge amounts that cause the water to boil. And of course, you can't float a rescue boat in bubbles. Anyway, so I digressed slightly. I went on to a completely different tangent there. So what else is going to be happening? Oh yeah, I've got my eye on a little tiny toy. It's a 129 gram drone. They call it the flying selfie stick, really, because you don't have to do anything to do it. You don't even need a controller to control it. You can actually just press a button and it will go off and it will do its autonomously. It will fly away, it will fly back. You put your hand out, it will land on your hand, and that's the end of the flight. Or it will fly out, fly up, fly back again. Or you can get it to do a loop, do an orbit around your body. You can get it to follow you, or you can follow it as it's in front of you, and you can also get it to fly sideways, looking at you as it's. Of course, the speed of it, I won't be obviously I won't be jogging, but I won't go over 20 miles an hour, so it is limited in its speed. So we'll look forward to doing some of those shots. I just wish I had the dog, because it would have been so much fun to have tracked the dog when he was running. It would just suddenly stop, of course, so that would let the drone catch up, I suppose. Yeah, I do miss our little dog. I really do miss him. I think it's as Sarah said, it's not fair on Sarah's dad to come and look after it because she's at work and whatever. So I think in a few years' time, when I retire, I'll be thinking about getting another dog. Yeah, I think I might get another Boston. I don't know. We'll see what Sarah says, but we'll go through it. We'll talk it out and we'll get it together. You know me. I'm not one of these people who likes to put my foot down and tell her what he can and can't do. You know, so we always make these shared decisions, which is what you should do, really, if you're in a partnership when you're married together, I suppose. Not that. Oh blimey, I've getting on for 14 minutes. As you know, now that I've rabbited on for more than 14 odd minutes, I won't put mid-term adverts in, just really because I wouldn't like them if I were watching a video and there's mid-term adverts. So I won't put them in. And of course, if you've made it this far, you've got to give the video a like and a share if you want to. But most of all, if you can watch it to the end, that ensures that I do get some ad revenue from this. As you know, small YouTubers, they get very little money. They probably get between 30 and 80p for a video, depending on how many views you get. I know some of the bigger channels who get thousands of views, they can actually make a living out of it. But us small YouTubers, it's very difficult to make a living out of it. I actually spend more money on the channel than I get back in. You know, some of the intros that I do, the Christmas stuff, and some of the intros that I do, they actually cost £5 or £6 an intro. So you can imagine when you've got 5 or 6 intros, it's 30 quid. But like I say, it's I do it for a hobby, really. You know, I could smoke, I suppose, but I don't. Never have done. And I don't drink when I'm at sea, simply because we can't. There's no bar on board, and I think I would be tempted to drink too much if I took it with me. So I don't drink while I'm at sea. Plus the fact it is illegal on board ship for a start. But yeah, we had one guy. I wasn't there that trip, but one of the deck sailors was caught drinking, so he got sacked, which is probably the best thing for him, really. It might sober him up, as it were, to realise his responsibilities for those on board. Yeah, so I think that's it, really. I think I've caught up with all the news, and of course a little bit about the Mary Celeste. I'll hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to get time or not. I might get outside and take a picture of these butterflies and see what they're doing. See if we can get some pictures. They are quite dainty. I just while we've been doing this video, I've just watched a bumblebee fly into a spider's web, and of course the big bumblebee said, "I ain't having none of this," and cleared off. So yeah, that spider didn't get a meal that day, and of course he's back in his web now, back in the centre of it, quivering from being attacked by a bee. But yeah, they do look nice. Anyway, we've still got some flowers in the garden. We've still got the yellow pom-pom things. Then I don't know what they're called. I have to look on the label. And some of the other flowers, the pinks and the yellows and the whites, they're doing right. And the red that we've got here, and the lavender. Oh, I'll have to get the camera out as well. The hanging baskets, Sarah's pruned those back a bit. There's no more. Oh, there's one sweet pea hanging up, but not much. We've got a few violas, whatever they're called. Yeah. Anyway, so I better call it an end. The washing machine's said it's come to an end. The new washing machine. Sarah says it's fantastic. She loves it. She says it dries the clothes really quickly. So that's a bonus. So that's about it then. So I'm going to wrap it up. It's 5. It says on the counter there 5 minutes 15. So I might be able to trim a couple of seconds off the start and maybe a few off the end. But there won't be much. So enjoy the video. Like I say, give it a thumbs up. If you can, get to the end and watch it, and then I'll get some ad revenue. Because if you don't watch it all the way through, I won't get paid, which is a shame. Anyway, I'll try and do some shorter videos tomorrow. We've still got the kitchen to finish off. We've still got to take the cooker out. We've got to take the fridge out. We've got to take the washing machine out. We've got to take the dishwasher out. All the cupboards are bare, apart from a few things that we're going to use for the next couple of days. The stuff that's underneath the sink, all my water filtering equipment that I had for my fish tank is still there. So I need to get that out and shut the water off. And then it's just a matter of leaving it up to the builder to do. So we're doing absolutely everything in the kitchen. What I'm going to do is, hopefully, I'm going to make a small 360 video and stick that up, showing you the kitchen as it is before, then do a kitchen afterwards, and then I'm going to do a comparison video of before and after, so you can see what it's like, and then you can look at when it's like when it's finished. I don't know if it will be finished in our 10 days that we're going to be away. As there's quite a lot of work to do. The builder says you can't touch the walls because there might be asbestos in the artexing, which is probably what they used 30 years ago, 40 years ago probably, to put the artexing on the wall. So he's just going to cover it over. He's going to put a cover over that. And then he's got to dig up the floor. You'll see from the video where the dog pulled up the lino, made a right mess of that. And they're going to do the ceiling. They're going to put spotlights in the ceiling. They're going to put the units in. There's going to be worktop illumination at the top, and then there's going to be skirting board illumination at the bottom. We're getting new doors for the living room and for the cupboard where the under the stairs cupboard where Harry Potter lives. Actually, when he's not at Hogwarts, he's in our cupboard. Anyway, right. So better get on. Rabbited on almost 20 minutes. Anyway, I know some of you like it. You know who you are, but like the longer videos. So enjoy this one, and I'll see you all on the next one. Hopefully I'll get some pictures of these butterflies, which means going to find the big camera that I put away last time. Anyway, see you later. You have a